high-stakes standoff, the Second Thomas Shoal flashpoint. The South China Sea, humid and tense, is the stage for a dangerous confrontation. A battered Philippine supply vessel inches toward the BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded warship turned outpost. Suddenly, Chinese Coast Guard ships appear, larger and more aggressive. They unleash high-pressure water cannons, battering the Filipino boat. The crew braces, their mission to resupply comrades now a test of survival. This is no distant conflict. It's a frontline standoff, happening in real time. The Philippines is at the heart of a struggle for control and influence in the Indo-Pacific. China asserts its dominance, enforcing its sweeping 9-line claim. Its ships challenge any vessel that enters these contested waters. The message, Beijing is in charge. The United States, Manila's treaty ally, watches with growing concern. For Washington, freedom of navigation and a stable Indo-Pacific are vital interests. Every move is scrutinized, every response analyzed. For Filipino sailors, this is about more than geopolitics. It's about completing their mission and staying alive. Their courage is tested daily in a high-stakes chess game. One miscalculation could spark a wider conflict. The world watches, holding its breath. The fate of this small shoal could shape the future of peace and stability in the region. The Second Thomas Shoal is more than a flashpoint, it's a symbol of the larger struggle for the South China Sea. Here, the contest for power, resources, and influence is anything but abstract. The Philippines stands as both a front line and a symbol of resistance. The standoff is a warning. The balance of power in Asia is being tested, one confrontation at a time. The outcome here could echo far beyond these waters. The stakes are global. The world cannot look away. The archipelago, at the center, why Manila matters. The Philippines sits at the crossroads of Asia's great powers. Geography and history have thrust it into the center of the US-China rivalry. Every decision in Manila reverberates in Washington and Beijing. The US sees the Philippines as a cornerstone of its Pacific strategy and a vital ally. The Mutual Defense Treaty is a promise. An attack on one is an attack on both. For Washington, a strong Philippines is key to regional stability and countering China. China, meanwhile, sees the Philippines as both a neighbor and a potential obstacle. Beijing offers investments and trade but also applies pressure in the South China Sea. China wants a compliant Philippines, free from US military influence. Manila is caught in a delicate balancing act, asserting sovereignty while navigating superpower demands. Leaders must weigh economic opportunities from China against security guarantees from the US. The Philippines seeks to benefit from both, without being drawn into conflict. This is the great power play unfolding in Manila today. The stakes are high, and every move matters. The world is watching how Manila navigates this tightrope. Its choices will shape the region's future. Geography is destiny, the strategic choke points. The Philippines forms a natural barrier between the Pacific and the South China Sea. Its islands guard vital sea lanes and choke points like the Luzon Strait. Whoever controls these waters controls the flow of global trade and military movement. For the US Navy, the Philippines is a linchpin, key to projecting power and containing adversaries. Expanded US access to northern Philippine bases highlights this strategic value. China sees the Philippines as part of the first island chain, a barrier to its Navy's access to the Pacific. A neutral or friendly Philippines would give China's Navy a freer hand in the region. The competition is fierce. Over a third of global shipping passes through the South China Sea. Energy and goods for Asia and the world flow through these waters. Any disruption would send shockwaves through the global economy. The Philippines, by its location, holds the key to securing or threatening this economic lifeline. Its geography is its greatest asset and its greatest challenge. Both superpowers know it. The archipelago's fate is tied to the world's prosperity. Control here means influence far beyond its shores. The stakes are not just regional, they're global. Geography is power, and the Philippines is at the center. Lines in the water, the South China Sea dispute. The South China Sea is a hotbed of overlapping claims, but China's 9-line is the most sweeping. Beijing claims historic rights to nearly the entire sea, ignoring its neighbors' claims. In 2013, the Philippines challenged China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Manila argued that China's claims violated international law. In 2016, the tribunal ruled overwhelmingly for the Philippines, declaring China's 9-line baseless. The court said Beijing had violated Philippine sovereign rights. It was a landmark legal victory for Manila and a blow to China's prestige. but China rejected the ruling, calling it waste paper, and ignored the verdict. Instead, Beijing accelerated its island building, turning reefs into military outposts. China's de facto control grows, despite the legal setback. The Philippines faces a new reality. Legal victories don't always change facts on the water. The dispute is far from over. The struggle for the South China Sea continues, reshaping the region's balance of power. The world is watching what happens next. The Philippines walks a diplomatic tightrope between the US and China. The US alliance remains the bedrock of Philippine defense, with joint exercises and military aid. Under President Marcos Jr., ties with Washington have deepened, expanding US access to bases. Yet no leader can ignore China. Its economic influence is immense. Past leaders sought Chinese investment, sometimes downplaying disputes for economic gain. This approach has yielded mixed results and criticism for being too accommodating. Within the Philippines, some push for a tougher stance against China. Others urge pragmatism and dialogue. The challenge leverage US security while engaging China economically without sacrificing sovereignty. Every administration must find its own balance. The stakes are national security, prosperity, and independence. The balancing act defines Philippine foreign policy today. The Philippines is a prize in a fierce economic contest between the US and China. China's Belt and Road Initiative promises billions for infrastructure, bridges, railways, ports. For a developing nation, these offers are tempting, but come with strings attached. China is now a top trading partner, giving it leverage. The US and allies counter with their own investments, emphasizing transparency and sustainability. American firms drive the booming BPO sector, employing millions of Filipinos. Manila can now play both sides, demanding better deals and higher standards. But over-reliance on either power carries risks, economic sovereignty or missed opportunities. The government must vet every project, ensuring real benefits for Filipinos. The economic tug-of-war is as intense as the military rivalry. The Philippines' choices will shape its development for decades. The stakes, prosperity, independence, and the power to choose its own path. The world is watching which way Manila leans. The US-China rivalry is now digital, with the Philippines as a key battleground. Control over 5G networks, data centers, and undersea cables will shape the country's future. Chinese tech giant Huawei offers fast, affordable 5G, but the US warns of security risks. Philippine telecoms must weigh cost against security and alliance concerns. Some use a mix of suppliers, avoiding outright bans. The tech race extends to data centers, e-commerce, and digital payments. US giants like Google and Amazon expand their presence, while Chinese firms invest in local platforms. The Philippines' digital choices will impact its economy and security for years. The contest for influence is no longer just on the seas, it's in the cloud. Manila's decisions today will echo for generations. The South China Sea is rich in oil, gas, and fish, resources vital to the Philippines. China's claims and actions block Manila from exploring and exploiting these riches. The Malampaya gas field is running dry, making new exploration urgent. But Chinese harassment at sites like Reed Bank stalls progress. Fisheries are also under threat. Millions depend on these waters for food and livelihood. Filipino fishermen are chased from traditional grounds by Chinese vessels. Environmental damage from island building and overfishing is devastating. The Philippines is on the front lines of both a resource and environmental crisis. Defending its rights means protecting its people and its future. The struggle for resources is a struggle for survival. The stakes are not just economic, they're existential. The world's attention is fixed on this contest beneath the waves. Amid superpower rivalry, the Philippines is finding its own voice. Manila is no longer a pawn, it's an active player, leveraging its strategic position. By strengthening its US alliance, it signals resistance to Chinese aggression. Yet it keeps diplomatic channels with Beijing open, hedging its bets. The Philippines is also building ties with Japan, Australia, South Korea, India, and ASEAN. Diversifying partnerships broadens its support for a rules-based order. The nation is more confident, determined to defend sovereignty and secure prosperity. The path is challenging, but Manila is making its own choices. The Philippines is proving it's more than a location, it's a power in its own right. Its moment has arrived. The world is watching as the Philippines charts its future. The stakes are high, but so is the nation's resolve. The story is one of resilience, agency, and hope.